Hello and welcome to this week's edition of CTN Community Update. A 34-member task force has been meeting for nearly a year to determine the needs of schools in the Anoka-Hennepin School District. This week, the Fit for the Future task force presented its findings and recommendations to the school board. CTN's Jordan Rylance has more.
I think there was quite a few aha moments.
For 10 months, the Fit for the Future task force has looked at facility needs for District 11 schools.
This task force was formed out of a charge from the school board to take a look at what the schools needed in regards to capacity, in regards to our growth, and then also our technology needs.
The group, made up of parents, educators, and community members, has met monthly since spring. The Fit for the Future task force studied community growth and enrollment projections, capacity of schools, staffing ratios, future program needs, school boundaries, transportation, condition of schools, technology infrastructure, and finance. On Monday night, they presented their total of 9 findings and gave recommendations to the school board. Some specific recommendations included updating and improving learning spaces, creating new schools in Blaine, Dayton, and Ramsey due to community growth, removing portable classrooms, and creating additional space for special education needs.
Seeing that information as a resident or as a voter is really important because it really does tell the story of how our community schools are used and the financial picture as a whole.
54-year-old Coon Rapids High School is the oldest building in the district and in need of updates, repairs, and improvements. The future of District 11 school facilities will likely rest in the hands of voters in a referendum later this year.
Right now is a good time in the next few years to look at a referendum. So one of the recommendations is the board consider that because our facilities are old and need updating, and we maybe need another school or two because of the growth, so this would be a good time for them.
While overcrowding in facility space continues to be one of the major issues facing District 11 schools, Holden is happy there is a need for more educational funding.
It's a really good problem to have. If our schools were dropping enrollment and they were empty, it would be hard to justify making investments. But if we have populations coming into them, we really want to update our schools and make them warm and inviting for our kids.
For CTN Community Update, I'm Jordan Rylance.
The school board will now put a price tag on the recommendations and decide what items to include in a referendum. The facility updates, renovations, and improvements would take place over the next 10 to 15 years. The District 11 superintendent will be sticking around for several more years. The school board recently approved a new 3-year contract for David Law. It begins July 1st and runs through June 30th of 2020. Law's salary will be $194,000 in the first year of the contract, with up to a 2% increase in subsequent years for satisfactory performance. The superintendent told the school board that he's honored to work here and looks forward to, quote, great things ahead of us. The Anoka-Hennepin School District is already looking ahead to its 2018 and 2019 fiscal year budgets. The scenarios presented at Monday night's school board meeting use anywhere from a 1% to a 3% increase to the basic funding formula from the state. In the 2017-2018 school year, the district could see anywhere from a $59,000 to a $5.1 million surplus, and in the 2018-2019 school year, the projections range from a nearly $3 million surplus to a more than $7 million deficit. It all depends on what the legislature does this session with school funding. Bills are moving forward in both the House and Senate to help secure funding for the construction of an overpass at the railroad tracks on Hanson Boulevard. Local officials want an overpass to increase public safety and reduce delays for motorists and first responders. But the project still needs $12.6 million from the state to become a reality. Earlier this month, Governor Dayton included the funding in his bonding proposal, and the bills introduced in both the House and Senate are now in committee. Last year, lawmakers were unable to reach an agreement on a bonding bill, so they are trying again this session. Safety concerns at a busy railroad crossing in Anoka have local and state officials looking for answers there. CTN's Steve Antis joins us now from Anoka with that story. Steve?
Steve, the Minnesota Department of Transportation recently completed a feasibility study of this at-grade crossing and are recommending an overpass be constructed on Highway 47 to improve public safety. It was back in September of 2003 when a major accident occurred here at this crossing on Ferry Street, which many won't soon forget. 4 young people were killed shortly after 10 p.m. when their car was struck by a train. Now, on an average day, more than 18,000 vehicles cross the tracks here, and with up to 80 trains a day passing through, traffic backs up all the way to Highway 10. Between the years 2010 and 2014, there were 17 rear-end crashes, which occurred within 150 feet of this crossing.
There is a fairly large number of crashes that are caused because of that. We have some sight distance issues here also. There's also some driveway access points that are in the road, into the roadway, and don't give enough time for people to respond. And we also have up to 80 trains a day driving through this crossing, depending upon the time of year.
Next week, you can learn more about the recommendations for this crossing at an open house. It's taking place on Thursday, February 2nd from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Greenhaven Golf Course in Anoka. At 5:30, there will be a presentation and then time for questions and answers. As of yet, there has not been a funding source identified for construction of an overpass at this crossing. Steve?
All right, Steve, thanks. An open house is also taking place next week for an upcoming road construction project on the Coon Rapids-Anoka border. The open house is set for Tuesday, January 31st from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. at Federal Cartridge in Anoka. Anoka County is planning to widen Main Street between 7th Avenue and Wedgwood Drive to include a two-way left turn lane down the middle of the roadway. Also, Main Street will be resurfaced between 7th Avenue and Round Lake Boulevard. Construction on the project is expected to start in the spring of 2018. About a dozen people turned out this week to provide feedback on the city's proposed goose management plan. The plan, required by the DNR, includes guidelines for deciding on a sustainable population and how the city will maintain an acceptable population within a given area. Some are opposed to the killing of geese, which is just one possible option under the plan. Other options include redistributing the geese, habitat modification, and erecting physical barriers. You can check out the draft plan yourself by logging on to the city's website. Comments are being taken from the public through February 24th. Next week, the city will begin trimming boulevard trees throughout Coon Rapids. This year's work will be in areas that will see seal coating. The process involves city staff coming out to inspect and to decide if boulevard trees need trimming. It's done as part of a routine care and maintenance program. About 1/7 of the city's boulevard trees are trimmed each year. Our colder weather has allowed the city to reopen outdoor skating rinks. The rinks had to be shut down last week due to the unseasonably mild temperatures. The skating rinks are located at Thorpe, Riverview, and Wintercrest parks. Warming houses are open weekdays from 5 to 8:30 p.m. and weekends from 1 to 8:30 p.m. Applications are being accepted from residents interested in serving on several city commissions. Currently, there are openings on the Planning, Sustainability, and Arts Commissions. If you're interested in serving, just head to the city's website, coonrapidsmn.gov, and click on Boards and Commissions. There you'll find a link to an application form. The city has 9 various advisory boards and commissions that are staffed by volunteers. We learned this week that a new restaurant could be coming to Coon Rapids. Golden Corral, which bills itself as America's #1 buffet and grill, is looking to open in the former Old Country Buffet location in Riverdale. There are currently just 2 locations in Minnesota, one in Maple Grove and the other in Maplewood. However, Golden Corral has more than 500 restaurants nationwide. The Coon Rapids location is expected to open in June. Coon Rapids' annual winter celebration is here. As in years past, there's lots going on. Whether you like hunting for medallions, dancing, or playing carnival games, there's plenty of fun to be had.
I just encourage everyone to come out to do something. Like I said, there's something for everybody again this year. So I hope that I see lots and lots of community members.
This year's Snowflake Days celebration runs through February 12th. You can find the full list of events online or over on our CTN info channel. And stay tuned for CTN Spotlight for more on the 2017 celebration. That's going to do it for today's show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here again next week.